All right, we'll call the August 21st, 2025 City of Brentwood Architectural Review Board meeting to order. Calling the roll, Paul Turner, not here. Carl Carlin,
Here.
Matt Foreman, here. First agenda item is approval of meeting minutes from July 31st.
No questions.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have no old business, so we'll move on to new business. First on the agenda is 8737 Magdalene. Is there someone here to present? It's your name and information, and then tell us about your project, please.
Josh Peterman. I'm with Renaissance Living, and we're the owners of the property at 8741 Magdalene. We're proposing to demolish the existing house there and build two.
8737's first on the agenda, 8741 second.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So for 8737, we're proposing a new single-family home, two-story. It's predominantly brick for the front. Tried to match or blend in with what was existing on the street. Do you want me to? What exactly do you want me to run through, or just?
Which 2 pages in the site plan? What am I looking at?
Okay.
Oh, so this was a double lot that you're tearing down and doing the two.
Correct. Yeah.
Go back here. Collier, Magdalene. That's this one. This is the existing?
Correct. Yeah.
A little further past the tree so we can look back at it. All right. So that's the existing, and then porch, garage, residence. ARB set matches this one. First floor, front elevation, and front rendering. Carlin, jeez. I apologize, I'm sorry. It's gonna be all recorded too, of me hacking and coughing, so. All right, so front porch. It seems open in the back. Is that just a covered porch in the back?
Correct. Yeah. It's just it'll be a concrete patio with a covered roof over it.
I think very little grade change on the site. A little bit of a slope. You're putting in a new swale. A little curious on the front elevation. Looking at, because I'm going to go back to the Google Earth, because we do have a story and a half here, but a lot of these are single story. You've got the church school across the street, kind of story and a halves here. I wanted to ask about the roof pitch. So if you look at the side elevation, they aren't necessarily called out in this one. One of the things we've used as a tool in the past, I get the main roof has the span over the full depth, but some of the pieces that we've done before to lower the height, the visual impact of a new two-story next to a single story would be to ask, this looks about like a 10 and 12, 12 and 12.
It's a 10-12, and then the main one is, I believe, a 612.
So we never see, no one's ever gonna see this view. We'd never see a house in elevation. It's always perspective. So I'm not as worried about the main mass of the big roof because it's gonna kind of slope away from us. But given these two being at the 10, 12 and the neighbors being lower, I was curious if we'd be open to dropping the slopes on these, because I was looking at the second floor, and you don't really have windows or program out here in front, but in the front, we're showing that false window. So I'm assuming the bedroom wall is back where the siding is.
Correct, yeah.
Maybe it'll be a storage closet or something, but would you consider dropping some of these roof slopes down to 6 and 12, 8 and 12 to try to lower the height of the front of the building in relationship to the other single-story homes?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could certainly look at that. I hesitate to do it too much, just we're gonna be at a, pretty high price point here, and I don't wanna, not cheap, but I don't wanna make it. We know this roof pitch works from a sales standpoint and what people want. I mean, could we do like a 912?
I'm going to ask Mr. Carlin to talk while I sketch, and we'll see what it looks like.
Sure. I guess so we there's a couple of things we've traditionally thought about or talked about relative to context like the topic here at hand. So if it is indeed 1012, then 912 is of course better than that, right? I mean, at least different than that, and would tend to take the height of the building down. There's lots of two-story houses going in neighborhoods that are predominantly one-story. That's just a fact of life, but we're always trying to make sure that there's an effort made to understand that context and not just kind of, like blow it out, right? We have a lot of small houses in Brentwood, like lots of little cottages and things, and it's, whether it's going to stay that way, I don't know, but at the moment we do, and so it's nice to be, respectful of that context. So that's the reason for that ask. While we're looking at that, there's a couple other things that came to mind. Some other things that are often on the list of questions related to the house being bigger in terms of impression than the houses near it. We often look at the position on the site relative to, whoa. Hello.
Did I do that? Oh, I did that. Sorry. I'm still
I
trying to
am
move stuff
Iron
around,
Man.
and I'm fighting my screen today.
I should have done it earlier. It would have been funny. So the house, it looks to be a little bit proud of the houses adjacent. I can't quite tell from the site plan, but if I was drawing a line, from the front of the mass of your building, it looks like it's out in front of the other two houses. And so it may be meeting the setback requirement. I assume it is. But we've often thought about, can we push the house back on the lot to stay in line with the other properties, because it would help minimize the mass of the property. So we could look at that on the list of things we're going to talk about. And then something else that I often notice, I'm not the only one, but when we have, and it's certainly not unique to your submission, when we have a property that's being proposed with brick and detail, columns and trim and things on the front, and then you kind of turn the corner and it all disappears. Like, that's not overly desired, So I appreciate that the windows and doors are trimmed. Sometimes we don't even get that. But ideally, we've looked at, and when we come back to the elevations, we can talk about it. But like, sometimes we've talked about, a trim board that kind of splits the siding on the side in half, something at the level of the eaves for the first floor or something. Or the gables, at the end, get something different than the same siding that was there, like a vertical siding or a shake or something. We're not going to design it for you, but the sides to me, appear to be a little bit, they could probably use some of the same attention the front got. And then, the back of the house, although we probably feel the same way as architects about it, it's the back of the house. And we don't always do that. So those are some of the thoughts, but maybe we'll return to the issue at hand, come back to those. And it's okay. So you've got two properties adjacent to each other. A lot of these things are going to be the same comments for the next one, right? So if we can resolve that, once, maybe we resolved it both times. So let's just see how this goes. And did I miss anything?
No, I'm just busy fighting my computer, and it's been a long day. All right, so what I'm drawing to scale here, because this program allows me to actually do that without being straight in CAD, is we're not changing the eave line, we're not changing your framing, we're just talking about dropping to an 8 and 12. That would take it down to right about. Solid 2 feet out of the top. Probably about the same over the garage. So just that nominal little adjustment in the framing and the slope, going from 10 to 12 to 8 to 12. I think it's not making it, in my opinion, a less impressive home, but it's going to bring a couple of feet out to make it fit in with the neighbors.
And we have also, I'm not sure we're talking about it in this case, and maybe when we see the two houses together, we can see, like in some more extreme cases where we had really small cottage-like houses on either side of a two-story like this, we've also thought about, kind of cropping the gables, so you're looking at the front of the building, and that's not something we always do, and something we've done, and not everybody likes that, and some people like it, but it does tend to bring the mass down as so you get to the edge of that building, and you're sort of at the ones, you get the lower height, and it seems to help. And it doesn't always seem, and it also fixes the side issue I was just talking about with the gable being different, right? Like it just removes that whole argument. But it is a different design, so it depends on how we feel about it,
One's 37's on the east, is that it?
Correct, yes.
So they're pretty similar. That's something else. We don't always get two on one lot come in at the same night, so we don't always have that control. But I'm not the developer, and I'm not selling the house, so it's not my thing. But it would seem to be a benefit to the neighborhood to have the houses have an identity of their own, right? And there's some effort here clearly to distinguish them. So that's.
I think it's probably more telling with the renderings. This one just has a different character. That one, but.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're still. They are similar, but you've made efforts to make them look different.
Yeah, we tried to make 8741 a little more contemporary, and we the colors are quite a bit different as well. There are a couple two-story, they're further down the street, right, when you pull in, but out towards Brentwood.
Have a, that looks like a 6 and 12 or less. It looks like they've even got the top plates below the window.
I mean, we're, yeah, changing the front gables to 812, I mean, that's, we can certainly.
Do you think we would do it on both? Would we do it on one? I mean, we're not, again, we're discussing, not telling. So, but, you know, there's something to be said for them having their own identity, I feel.
Well, and he does have, we're at 9-1 on the first floor. It's not a 10-foot plate. We've seen others where people are coming in these days with, 12-foot first floors with a one-story house that's 12 feet tall on their first floor next door, so.
I guess we've moved to doing both at the same time. So, I mean, maybe an easier one would be the lot location. Like it did look as if it was, as if these, I'm only looking at the one right now, but it looks as if the one was ahead of the neighboring houses, and that's something we often request get set back to match. And I'm pretty sure that's in the guidelines. Pretty sure that's discussed in the guidelines. Is it in the guidelines?
I can't remember, but
I think it is.
so sorry, it's on though.
Oops.
8751 looks a little forward. 8741, if I go back to the original site plan and we look at the house's original location, #20. Current front of house is showing 35. Proposed is 25.
Yeah, we're in line with the zoning setback.
Right, so you're right at the setback, but if I pull the front line from the neighbor's house here, level, so you're in front of that neighbor. Oh, Carl's busting out the computer. So what we're running through are typical strategies over the years of doing the ARB. Roof slopes, if we can shift back to be in line with the neighboring houses without really compromising the backyard, changing a roof slope without changing the functionality of any of the rooms on the inside. They're just small moves we can make to make the house fit in better without substantively changing the design. So 20-foot rear setback, which we are well away from.
The only concern I have, the grade does go, these yards slope from the rear towards the front, so the further we push it back,
Yeah,
it's gonna have to raise the top of the house to make the grade work.
Kind of going against the idea then a little bit.
he's about 4 feet in front of the house to the east. So with that 484, you're 12 feet to the setback, 4 feet, I would suggest probably changes that line to like there.
If raising, extending it back would indeed then make the house appear taller, that would be counterproductive to the discussion. I agree with that. I'm just looking at so we have, the city is in the process of implementing residential design guidelines. They're not enforced as of today, I don't believe, but they will be very soon, and we're sort of all kind of intimately aware of what they contain. One of the things that I think they contain, which I'm trying to find, is a discussion on this topic of lining up with neighboring houses. I might be wrong about that, but there's lots of jurisdictions, we're not one of them, that actually have that as a part of the zoning code, where you have to, and I've had to do that many times as a designer, where you have to show that condition. So that's why we're talking about it. My computer won't open anything, so.
So we're
Yeah.
4 feet in front of the house to the east, we're 9'6", almost 10 feet in front of the house to the west.
Yeah, and it feels and the drawing is accurately portrayed, so I noticed that it was ahead, and so if we could move it back without making the house feel taller, then that's something we've often thought about. And in this case, maybe it doesn't work, but again,
Because you're 10 feet closer to
open
the street than the
anything, why
existing
not?
residence. When we look at this, the front of the house is now, up here in the front yard somewhere.
right. So I mean, maybe there's a compromise. I mean, again, if you're amenable to the idea, if we pushed it back a couple of feet and that didn't really raise it out of the ground that high, maybe that'd be a win for all the different things we're talking about.
Actually, it looks like the current yard is graded up front.
I mean, if we're talking about a couple feet, I don't think that's an issue. If you said you have to push it back 10 feet, I think that is gonna affect,
That's a lot.
okay, okay.
If we could get 4 feet and get lined up with the house to the east, and we go to the 8 and 12, I think we're in a really good position.
Okay.
And are we thinking of, and I know we're reviewing one property at the moment, but are we thinking of having that discussion again for the next property, or are we?
It kind of feels like we could apply similar principles to both of them. But they're different agenda items. Maybe one conversation just goes more quickly.
Fair.
You have to vote individually. We do have folks online, so while I
Yeah.
look at that, we have 2 people online. Is there anyone? Let me go pull that up. Connie or Marion, would you like to speak? I'm happy to unmute both of you and allow to talk.
Hi, am I
Yes.
coming through?
Yes,
This is Marion Bradford. I live at 8734 Florence, which is directly behind the homes that are considered there. Um, I guess I understand there's progress that needs to be made. I just feel like the house I've got is going to be kind of overshadowed by a couple of big hulking things back behind me, and I know there's nothing I can do to stop progress. But one of the things um, I just am concerned about whether and I don't understand a whole bunch of what the architectural drawings show. I was wondering what this distance is going to be between my yard and the actual structure behind my house. The second thing, I don't know the distance. The second thing is what is it going to be the distance between these two houses, the two new ones? And thirdly, with the whatever the setbacks are, is there going to be enough room that like more than two cars can be in a driveway? In other words, are the driveways going to be long enough that someone can park cars right behind each other? If that street is so small anyhow and narrow, and there are sidewalks there. So that, as again, I'm just asking these questions. These are the things that I'm wondering about. I look forward to seeing it. Uh, I, and I hope I haven't sounded too goofy. Thank you.
All right. You go first.
You want me, to
So-
respond, or?
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
it looks to me, sorry, I'll jump in. The distance from the property line, and again, I'm sorry, what address was yours, Marion?
I'm 8734.
This one.
Yes, that's me right there.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how far you are off of the back. What I can tell you is the existing house that's going to be replaced from the property line of the existing house, it's about 59 feet. And what we're talking about in the proposed new one would be about 28 or 29 feet if we push back just a wee bit.
Okay. Okay.
And then the side to side, it looks like you're filling up the side yard setback. So there'll be about 10 feet between the new houses.
Okay.
And then between the house to the east and west, it looks a bit more, probably more like 12 to 15.
Right, because the one to the west has got a driveway, so.
Right, that's why it's a little
right,
further.
So, yeah, it will be different, obviously. Okay, I understand that part.
So one of the things we're talking about with the roof slopes is exactly what you first mentioned, is trying to make this house not feel quite so overwhelming. So that's part of our goal in our conversation today.
I understand.
Is the other online attendee, are you here to speak about this submission or a different one? Going once, going twice. All right. Is there anybody here in the chamber that wants to speak to these submissions? Nope. Okay. All right, Mr. Carlin, what do you got?
So again, I think if we're amenable to lowering the pitch even just slightly to help bring the height down, if we're willing to push it back a couple of, I mean, I say a couple, let's be precise. If 10 is the difference between the one house and then 4 is the difference between the other, if we did 4 or 5 feet moving back, I think that would probably answer that question. On the side elevations, again, I think the sort of sea of undifferentiated vinyl siding should be broken up. It's probably nicer to look at from the neighbor's point of view. So the easy ways to do that, which we've done a lot of times here, is to have just like a kind of a trim board, whatever trim board you have elsewhere, run that sort of from the garage eave, back to your canopy, eave at the back side of the house. And, if you wanted to then do that again, sort of where the gable starts, and that's just the minimum to sort of break that up. If you're okay with that, we can just drop that on.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and then, again, I'm not saying we have to do anything, but we have also switched out the siding and the gable in the past. It's not necessary. And
The other one you mentioned, just to be complete, because we can throw this topic at the second one, would be actually to take this entire portion of the roof and turn it into a hip
we've done that before, yeah.
that would then lay back. but that changes the front elevation to be something like that. So it clips off that whole corner, which in this case, I think this one we could probably clip off pretty easily, but I'm not sure we could get both. I'm not sure with both of them side by side.
Yeah, if we could avoid that, I'd like to. But
Yeah, it's one of the more extreme things we've trotted out before, and some folks are like, sure, fine, you know, others don't want to. I do think just this is commentary. This is not related to this particular project. You know, it doesn't happen often that we have two houses that are going up at the same time right next to each other. But I just, you know, I think if you happen to do that again, maybe some, you know, just the differentiation between the two would be appreciated, you know, because we're, you know, there's a couple of reasons the board was impaneled years ago. One of them was that there was like a spate of sort of very same houses that were going in certain neighborhoods, and the town decided that that wasn't desirable, you know, so it's one of the things we're actually looking for. You have taken steps to differentiate them, so I appreciate that. Garage doors are different, so things are different. We're going to have probably, there's a particular conversation on the next one we're going to have, which we don't have to have for this one, so we'll hold it for the next one. But if you're willing to do those trim boards on the sides, I think that at least addresses the concern, if you agree, Matt.
So were you up at the gable? Is that where you were talking about?
I just think there's one at the low level there, and then there's one at the gable, yeah. So if that's what I'm suggesting.
But not changing out the siding.
Well, no, not on this one, because I don't think for me, there's not a logic to it, because there's nothing I can reach to grab and say, do that, right? I think on the second one, we can have a different conversation,
So
so.
are you, I need to look at the front and see where the fascia ties in. Square, not a big overhang, so we'd be looking at,
Drag it right across there, yeah. It just breaks it up, you know, it gives the eye something to see.
I pushed this machine hard today. She probably wants to be restarted. All right, so trim boards on both sides. I'll get to marking it up later, and then 8 and 12 on the front for,
And I'm not sure, one of the trim boards, I think the lower one probably continues around the back, because you're just going to want to, it would look strange if you didn't, I think, you know.
which could tie in nicely with that.
Yeah, if you're okay with that, it would be consistent then around and wouldn't look like an afterthought or something, so. And the window, the trim isn't noted. Do you know what size trim you're proposing to go around the windows and the sides and the?
I believe that's like a 4-inch trim.
Okay, yeah, because we do want it to be actual trim and not just like a J mold or something like so. 'Cause it gets a little grim in the vinyl siding world when there's no trim.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah. And actually, it's interesting because the porch gable has a board. Oh, sorry, has a board across it, right? So it sort of ties in with that idea, which I think is probably pretty nice, probably. So, all right, those are the comments that I had relative to. We didn't look at the colors in depth yet, but
Black windows or bronze, one of those two.
They're black, yeah.
white trim, I can't quite tell.
It's on my screen, it's all very taupe.
Is that the intent for the?
Yeah, it's a clay color. I believe it's called pebble clay.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And is the trim different on the two different buildings? Is that part of the differentiation?
Yes.
The other one's
It's
much
white.
Okay,
white.
yeah, that's actually, I think that's probably good. That's
I
nice.
agree, that helps.
Yeah.
I have an actual photo too, if it would help.
The renderings are very helpful. I appreciate that. That's makes it a lot easier.
All right, so what typically we do when we have markups like this is we add them to the drawings, we move to approve as noted, and then what we'll do is provide these to staff. They'll back check to make sure that the permit documents were updated to match the comments.
Were you talking about putting the trim board on, for the siding on both sides of the house or just the one? Okay.
My computer's just acting up and I don't want to try to do that and slow things down more than I already have, so.
Is there anyone else that wanted to speak, or we covered that?
Now I got to find my little participant window. So Marion, are there any other comments?
I think, I guess one of the things I have no trees on my property. And I know there's a bunch of trees to the east of this property. And I'm wondering, are they going to have to be taken down? And it makes no difference to me, but I was just wondering.
They don't actually look like they're on this lot.
Yeah, I think those are all the neighbors in the
Yeah.
rear.
And there was quite a bit of concern by the previous owner about who owned what trees. So there was quite a battle, but that's fine. And luckily, and I'm just speaking here, I'm an old lady. At the curved area at the back of my house, I don't know if you see like right below, down there, farther there, you go right there. We're lucky because that was a huge old maple that got taken care of a long time ago. So we're lucky nobody's going to have to worry about that part. So I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it.
If there's no other comments, I would move to approve as noted.
I will second. Calling the roll, Carl Carlin,
Yes.
Matt Foreman, yes. All right, so we've already got a little jump start on.
Don't go anywhere.
41. So let me call up that actual set. I'm gonna save this. I may save that one too.
So maybe while he's doing that, with your buy-in, like pretty much anything we said that worked on the other one probably works on this one, right? So if we can change the gable height, if we can put the trim boards on the side and the back, if we can push it back with the other one.
4 foot, not the 10, so I think he'll still be in front of the immediate west neighbor,
Yeah.
but he's within the zoning setback, and he's in line with the buildings to the east, a little ahead of the one to the west, but I think that's acceptable, because further down the street to the west, sorry, wrong block, like this one seems to be a little ahead of 8747, so he'll be a little proud of 8747. It looks like pretty close in line
Sure.
if we do the same 4 foot.
And honestly,
Ish.
I'm complicating it. I apologize. So we moved the other one back 4 feet
Ish.
ish. One could argue that you don't move this one, so they're actually like a little bit different because they're so samey, right? You know, and then since the other house is coming forward, you're sort of making a diagonal line. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. You're making a diagonal line that isn't parallel to the street, but it would differentiate these houses slightly if they actually weren't in the same plane. Maybe. If that's silly, then ignore it.
I'm trying to think of that in context with the tall school on the other side of the street. You see my point? So I got this. I've got this. This one will be in line with that one, very well covered in trees. Then this one this part of the lot will come forward a little bit to line up with that if we're at 4 feet.
It's just a thought. I'm looking for ways to distinguish them, honestly, and I think putting them in the same plane brings them together in a way that they might be slightly different if they were slightly apart.
I kind of feel like with the 2-story solid school wall on the other side, getting a little more room in the streetscape
sure.
would be.
Yeah, I'm okay either way. If you're okay either way, because it's same logic of the, I mean, the site might be slightly different. Is there a slightly different grading situation on that side of the site that we have to worry about, or?
I mean, the left side's a little flatter. The slope, it's a little more sloped on the right side, rear of the lot. But it's a pretty flat site,
So probably okay.
to hold them both 4 feet. back,
Yeah.
So they're even, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, not trying to slide, sure, we can talk quickly about it. So this one is slightly different in two ways, to my understanding. One would be on the, you have horizontal siding on the sides and the back, and you have vertical siding on the front. So this one actually lends itself well, if you agree, to putting that vertical siding in the side gable triangle, right? Which you couldn't do on the other one because there was no vertical siding on it, right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then just put another trim board there at the.
Yeah, but if you're okay doing the vertical in the triangle, because that will actually differentiate it from the other house quite a bit, and it's, you already have that siding on the site, so hopefully it isn't a big change otherwise for you guys.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
So this goes to vertical.
I think it just differentiates it from the other one, and it's the same. It's a product you already have. And so then the only other thing to talk about, I think, would be that the porch condition is different on this one than it is on the previous one. That's something we should look at after the noting is done.
So, yeah, this one's got more of the vertical trim element, which actually I think shows best here with the shadow lines. And it also does have the eyebrow over the garage door breaking up the.
It does. So I apologize. I guess I could read the drawings. The cover over the porch, that trim board is at the same plane as the front of the garage, or it's set back?
Which one?
The roof over the porch,
I believe these are lined up.
those are parallel, those are in plane, or?
So if I look at
Correct.
this, they're just,
Okay, that's fine. I misread it, so we're good. So I don't have any other comments. I mean, we talked about it already on the other one. The colors seem, sensible in the rendering, and other than that, I don't have any thoughts.
just, hang on. Where did we lose Marion, you're still out there? Now we have,
I'm here, yes, I'm sorry.
we also have Todd Roberts. Mr. Roberts, are you here to speak about this submission or a different one? Last house, all right. So Marion, this is the other one. So you're getting two.
Yes,
Okay. I think the one we're talking about now is actually the one that'll be immediately behind your house.
correct.
So this one also has the covered porch on the back.
Okay.
If we're amenable to everything we just talked about, then, and there's no other questions, I would move to approve as noted.
I will second. Calling the roll, Carl Carlin,
Yes.
Matt Foreman, yes.
Thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
let me save both of these before I move on. What's that? Yeah, I'll clean up
we'll
the
note 'em,
notes before
yeah.
I send them to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is 2908 Collier.
Hello, J.R. Mayer with Prestige Custom Homes, presenting a ranch home at 2908 Collier. It is the middle of our 3 lots and the last one to be built. House to the left is a 2-story, house to the right is a similar ranch.
Ah, we're still over here on this corner, okay. Yeah, we've talked about this one a few times. Why is it blurred out? That's weird. Somebody requested their home be blurred out, I guess. I'm gonna go try to look past that, because this is your site, correct?
Correct, right there is where your cursor is a two-story. And then going, south is the empty lot we're talking about, and then the next lot to the south of that is another ranch house.
Blurring onto their own site. All right, so I want to start with a site plan on this one. Did I get that? 2908, this one.
Yeah, lot B.
So the footprint on this one actually looks a little smaller than on the first page. Lot coverage, you're like back here.
Yeah, that just shows the setbacks.
All right, so on to the floor plans. It's a ranch. All right. Mr. Carlin.
I think I'm the color commentary today. So, couple of thoughts. We didn't look at this. How's the site look? Are we okay? Are we in line with
We're, we've got a lot of space here. We're lined up pretty much with the front
Okay.
of the newer one here. He's at the setback line, but he's got storm retention in front as well, and both of those. One showed, there we go. So he's showing right in line with the massing.
Shows consistent to the house to the right as well, to the south, the newer house.
Like one of those like single lane lap pools where you can like do, you
Put one
know,
of the jets in one end and
yeah,
swim against.
you can kind of swim. All right. So I don't have any questions on the site.
Given the swale in the back and such, I don't see a lot of wiggle room in place.
No, I do not. Yeah. I think I would, the site looks really complicated, so that's probably enough for me. But I would say
This
again,
one's wedged in.
per the previous comments with houses looking similar all in a row, sometimes there might be a way to, within the bounds of the other part of the discussion, to mix that up. The thoughts that I had were, and it's certainly not limited to your submission, as I said previously, there's sort of a distinct difference in the kind of design and features in the front to the other three sides, right? Like, in fact, there's one side that seems to, it has absolutely no windows at all, which I have not seen previously. So it is what it is. I don't think it's desirable from neighbors looking at the house point of view, to be honest with you. If the planning of the interior of the house yields that result, I don't know that I have any argument against that logic. But it's not overly friendly to the neighboring properties, put it that way. So
So it's a two-car garage and
Yeah.
a dining room, and it actually looks like there are no windows, exterior direct windows in the kitchen. But he's got a refrigerator and a cooktop and a pantry that may challenge.
yeah, I mean, I assume that my assumption is that it's that way on purpose, you know, and so however you laid it out inside, that was the result. I don't know that it's a desirable outcome, but it's nevertheless the way the house is designed. So, but we're going to have to do something to soften that, because again, it's a very large expanse of uninterrupted siding, And I don't think that that's probably not desirable. So it's a little bit less on the other side because there's one window. So, 100% improvement, right? But still the same problem, right? So I think
Part of this is because it's a sold house, and this is how the woman wants it. So
it's
I
someone
disagree
wants
with
it.
you.
Someone wants it that way. I don't. So, we'll we'll find a way to get it in line. So, I think if we put a trim board across like we did the last one, that would help. I don't think we don't have vertical siding, so I'm not going to suggest that like we did the last time. If you wanted to do something like that, wouldn't hurt. But the vertical siding isn't present, so it would not necessarily make sense to just introduce it to the design.
So we're at 7 and 12. So we're above code, but you can actually see he's got a vault in the dining room that is lower. So I'm assuming that's a scissors truss. You're not stick building.
Correct.
But I would say anything we could do to drop that would actually be reducing the square footage of the vinyl siding visible from the side.
It would, and I thought about, because we talked about the height, at the last projects. This is not a two-story building, really. Your point about how you see things in perspective and not in elevation, like this one slopes pretty far back. So I don't think it'll feel.
I'm actually not as concerned about the roof slope from the front as I am from
the side. Yeah.
how much. I mean, let me see. Where am I? 1/4 inch. $23 peak to grade on a 1-story house.
Yeah, it's tall for a 1-story. It's very deep, so it's kind of forcing the issue a little.
So half of that 14 feet, a little over half, is only the gable end with nothing behind it. Well, okay, there's a slope, there's a vault behind it, so I
Want me to drop it to 612?
think that's a good starting place, because I don't think going to 412 would be
No.
I
appropriate.
wouldn't want to go below
No,
that.
I wouldn't either.
So if we can go to 612, I think that will help us.
So yeah, I mean the trim board again, there isn't any other vertical siding or any other siding except the horizontal, so it's hard to say put another piece of siding in there, maybe complicate things. But breaking it up with that board, I'm also wondering, is it sort of between front eve and back eve. He's drawing it right now. Something that a piece of trim that breaks up that expanse of siding, right? And then my question would be: there's a round vent on the front, and then there's rectangular vents on the sides. That seems pretty inconsistent. Was there a reason that decision was made, or?
I have to assume that the I don't know this, but I have to assume the rectangular one on the sides is purely for ventilation, to get more ventilation. The front is purely decorative for the most part.
So I say this kind of in ignorance, actually, because I haven't specified one of these in a long time. Is there one that could be round that would do the work of ventilation on the sides, and you could sort of, it would give some character. I'm looking for any character I can grab for the side of the building, right? So if we had, and I don't think a round versus a square is a huge cost differential, right? So I would suggest that as a way to sort of make the house feel holistically considered and sort of not side by side, right?
So no preference between the rectangular or the circle, just that they all jive.
Well, I see what you're doing there, but the circular one looks better in the front, right? And it kind of breaks up the. So if you like the circular one in the front for the reasons of its, kind of being a distinct item that sort of helps give character to the front of the building, I think you would do that to the sides of the building, right? As opposed to bringing the rectangular one forward.
He does have the arched MDO trim,
Right.
which ties in with the curve here, so I
Right.
get a little bit of the repetition there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
assume-
help.
I would assume this one's going to be contrasting, and this one may or may not.
It's not a make or
contrast.
break for me. I think it wouldn't hurt to do that, because if the logic works in the front where you've got the triangle with the circle, but no, it would work on the sides too, and it would tie the three things together in a way that is not happening now. So,
Mull that over, because my concern is actually one that we've seen typically, and actually it was on the last proposal we saw as well, but the brick veneer on the front, literally just seeing the edge. This is covered in the new design guideline. Can we get that to return at least a few feet to give us something more substantial than seeing the 4-inch brick veneer on the front?
Like a 2-foot return, essentially.
Well, you're going to want to line it up with the eave thing, so
Yeah.
that there's some coherence to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the edge of the dog ear.
And that's probably, is that true on the other side as well? I would say that I would agree with you that that's probably a more important detail than what I was talking about with the.
I'd much
with the
rather see
vent.
this
Yeah.
and leave the square vent.
I agree. I think both would help, but I agree this is probably more important.
I'm not as concerned on the 10 and 12s on
No,
the
it's
front,
fine.
just because, there's newer construction, it's bigger lots, there's 2 stories immediately to the south.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks as though the one window on the left side elevation does not have trim around it.
I don't see it on the back either.
Yeah, so that's a non-starter. You need to trim it. So, 4-inch generally is what people do. Yeah.
We have colors on this one.
I was going to ask that. I didn't see.
Yeah, I sent a color board.
I see it. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, there's pictures on this one, wasn't there? Every time I try to download pictures on stuff like that, it always, because it's a Word document, it always goofs me up. There we go. Earth tones, light colors.
Is Dark Knight, is it black? Is it bronze? Do we know?
Which it's dark. It's a black.
Black, okay.
In my mind.
That,
It's text says Dark Knight, but I'm just curious what it was.
the shutters, there we go, okay. All right, is there anyone in the chamber or online that would like to make comments on 2908 Collier? All right, so let's review. We got trim boards both side, return the brick veneer, 4-inch trim, all windows and doors. I think we're good on the front because we have brick. We're gonna get
Colors are noted, yeah.
any trim up there, but we'll widen that up. You'll have an interesting job finding a spot for your downspout here, but Any other comments?
Think about the vent. So, but not note it. Oh, and you changed the slope of the main
Noted
gable.
it, I'll clean it up.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
And I have no other questions.
So I'll move to approve as noted.
Second. Second.
Calling the roll, Carlin?
Yes.
Matt Foreman, yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Save. Don't need to save. 9328 Sonora. Come up and tell us about your project. All right, so there were 2 files. One said binder, one said binder final.
The binder original, I was requested to clarify a few things. So the binder final has additional notes that kind of clarify more.
Don't think I pulled down your site plan. Hang on just a second. I have a lot of windows open. Hang on. So minor floor plans, all of this stuff was together, but I'm going to grab that. What was the other one? Oh, you had photos of the house to the east and house to the west. There we
Yes.
go.
That's,
Right, and I bookmarked you in Google Earth as well. All right, so tell us what you're up to here, because I want to make sure I understand it.
go back to, so that's the original site plan, the one on the left.
Right.
There's a two-story building. The right portion of it, or the west portion of it, you can see down below, is a one-story, where it divides into a one-story, two-story.
Got it.
Okay. What you don't have is a demolition plan. If, on the floor plan, that portion right there where your cursor is the master bedroom. And that is becoming a master bathroom. And then there's an addition that goes onto the back that will be the transitioned from the bathroom to the bedroom addition on the back with a walk-through closet in between the two of them.
So
That's what you see in the floor plan. So the house ends right there where the cursor is. It goes, cuts through there.
you're going up
We're going up,
over that and
yes,
back.
yes.
So this is new,
That is the addition,
and two-story goes up over this,
right.
visible from the front only there. Then this wall, that's
This-
existing.
That's existing, yes,
So the new is only up here with the siding.
yes.
And then off the back, we have siding and a covered patio space that's back here.
Yeah, if you go back to the elevation, the original, yeah, so this, you had the siding, the wall, the existing wall back there is a siding wall, yeah.
So that's
The
existing.
brick is, yes, the brick is
So
returned.
that's existing, but new siding.
Up on top, yes, on the original house.
So that you're filling in the outdoor.
Yeah, that patio is being pushed out and then the addition goes into that spot.
Addition on the first floor here, addition on the second floor here, and
Yes.
addition of a outdoor patio here with a covering.
Yes, yes.
Trying to put all those parts together this afternoon, and I was like, I'm missing something.
It's hard to see if you don't see the original, the demolition plan of what's being removed. And then,
That's the rear elevation with the new,
yes,
the existing is actually here. That's existing,
yes,
that's new.
that's new beyond, yep.
Goes above that.
Yeah, just that portion over. Yes,
So this on the side, this is actually new construction, but it matches what was behind it.
yes,
Everything else is existing. Okay.
But from the front, we set the walls back to break down the mass, so you wouldn't have just a continuous house going through. So we set it back a little bit, let some roof front come through to kind of break down the massing of the house.
So when you're currently painted brick and you're going back with painted brick
Yes.
on the front, siding on the side. Wait, did I get that right?
No, I think it's all, yeah.
Painted brick on the front, siding on the side. This is existing brick currently. That's a weird little transition right here because you have brick, a sliver of siding, and brick here. That's going to look weird. Frame the wall to get the brick over the front of
Are we opposed to doing the whole thing in siding?
it. Oh,
I just, because it's my house, I love the idea of just continuing the brick in the front.
name.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, Julie Roberts, homeowner, 9328 Sonora. That return of the brick is original. That's what's there right now. The vinyl siding is there right now. We are replacing the vinyl siding with hardy board. So I do agree it might look a little weird because I don't know how much space that is, but I feel like it will match the rest of like the right side having the hardy board to the right.
So I agree. Well, this is sloped right there. And then you've got the slope that's going to be coming up right here. And right now you've got brick coming back to there. I'm not sure I'm making sense yet. Give me a second.
Okay.
So this is all brick. This is all brick. It is all painted white. But then you're going to have
White siding.
siding in here, and you're going to have brick coming this way. So you're going to have this weird little triangular, or not triangular, but this is roof, shingles
We
here.
can continue the brick through there, figure out how to put a ledge underneath it, an angle.
Maybe even, since you're painting it, when the siding comes off, maybe even a thin brick, it's all going to get painted, so it's not going to match. It's not, we don't have to match the color and all the other stuff, but I think you would be unhappy with this little vertical slot.
Yeah.
That would be something different.
So then are you saying though to extend the brick all the way up to the top gable down
No,
and?
I'm saying to extend the
Seeing
brick
filling that squiggly line going
Okay.
down.
Uh-huh.
through here, even if it's not real 4-inch thick brick veneer.
Okay.
Even if it's 1/2 or 3/4 inch thin brick.
Just match the pattern, but we would have a butt joint. Is the butt joint okay?
Can't have everything. I've never tried toothing real brick and thin brick before, but
I don't think it does.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you.
That's the only.
Sorry, I think it would
honestly,
help.
When I was digging through this, besides the fact that there's no windows on this side, but
There isn't any windows right now on that side either.
Right.
And it's going to be a bathroom up top, a little girl's bathroom, so I don't really want a window in their shower.
and you're fairly close to.
And then it'll be bathroom and closet on the first floor, which,
Yeah, I don't, you've got the driveway next to it, so we will kind of see that side, but it's not substantially different than what you've got now.
so then would you put, I guess, like a header piece going across so that you still have the siding around
Of-
the gable?
yeah.
Okay.
I would return the gutter's right here, there'd just be a trim band at the top. But I think leaving this, either that or you're gonna have to find like some sort of hardy plank that matches the 8 and 12 brick. I don't know. It just felt weird to have one little slot. It was like just scream high, I'm a house edition.
I don't want that.
Is there going to be a similar vent at the top of the gable? I saw that in the drawing.
Yeah, it's not on there yet, so.
Can we mark that?
I'll do it neater than my scribble over there, so. There we go. So when you fill this in, you're gonna have to fill in the old one. You can't flash up to the face of the old triangular vent.
Yeah, it'd have to be infilled.
All this, are you doing new siding all the way up?
Siding, yeah.
Okay.
Vinyl Dutch lap on it right now.
Um, Typically, when we see this, even though we've mentioned it on the other projects to break up the vinyl siding, we typically see you guys end up with a trim board here just because that transition from the vinyl to the brick below is so tough.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing a little trim board there, but
Oh, so
it's
that's
gonna
the
have to
intent of
be
this bottom
worked
one?
out a
Yeah.
little bit better, because it's a weird connection of a lot of things coming into a little
Yeah, you
space.
got to get proud of the brick or you're never going to get a good seal.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm going to note that as a trim board and
it may go to a 2x8 or a 2x10 kind of thing.
a little more room to work with.
So it may come up and match the bottom of where the rake board comes in.
Help.
Window trim, we got a stone fireplace, trim on the columns. Colors are called out. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to ask participants. I'm going to guess that is also the homeowner. So I think, Mr. Roberts, if you need to speak, you're unmuted.
No, I'm good. I was just wanting to listen in.
Looks like a trim board there across the back as well. Comments from anyone in the audience? Been very quiet, I have to ask. All right, so I'm gonna add a note about, brick, and I really just think you would be disappointed with that little piece of siding. My humble opinion. Carlin, anything else?
No, I think we covered it.
We have a motion.
I would move to approve as noted.
Second, calling the roll, Carl Carlin,
Yes.
Matt Foreman. All right, so like we said before, we'll take the markups, give them to staff, so they'll check your permit documents against this. And there we go.
Thanks.
All right, way back to my agenda. All right, moving on to building official and director's report. What do you got?
We do have, is it 4 or 5? 5 submittals for next month, or 5 submittals for next month.
What is the date of that meeting?
18th, yes.
Matt, we have you as out of town, but possibly available via Zoom.
That, I can call in from the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport if I need to. Hopefully find somewhere quiet, but.
Carl, does your schedule look open?
Does at the moment, yes.
All right. There's typically something on here about public comment. It's not there, but is there anything you would like to say to the board or comments to make? Yes. Come on up, tell us.
They're going to ask you to state your name and address first, and then we can start talking.
My name is James Feet, Fiete, 2201 Park Ridge Avenue. I came before the Board of Aldermen and spoke quite fluently about what was happening on Park Ridge. We had 3 ranch-style homes on double lots. There's only one left. That's mine.
Please keep it.
We've had it for 50 years.
So, okay, I've been on this board 17 or 20 years. My understanding, staff tell me if I'm wrong, is when someone buys the double lot, like you saw today, like on Park Ridge, across from the school, where the 2 were put in, not Park Ridge.
So
What's just to the west of the grade school?
it's west of the grade school.
Yeah.
I see.
Across the street, there was, hang on.
We had 1 ranch style on the west side, and there were 2 on the east side. Those have both been demolished, and a single 2-story went up on 1 double lot, and 2,
St. Clair was the last one that came in.
yeah.
These 2 right here, that was a single lot.
Yeah.
And my understanding, and spoiler alert, we're both on planning and zoning as well. But as far as the zoning ordinance for the city goes, if someone buys your lot, they can subdivide it as long as both lots meet the minimum lot size. And the city essentially has to accept that. We can't stop them from subdividing a lot as long as the subdivision meets the minimum lot size. Now, that's the official answer. Unfortunately, aesthetically, what we saw tonight in your lot, those nice, generous, large ranch homes on wide lots are beautiful, and I hate to see them go. So,
Well, our intention is to sell it to someone who will stay there and not demolish it. My question is, when we sell, we've already got enough people that are interested in it that I'm not even going to go through a real estate agent, because all my neighbors, a couple of them want that. So my question is will the city inspector come, go through the house, say these are the things that are necessary for us to sell it or for someone to move in?
Yes, sir, we do have an occupancy program that an inspector will come out, do an inspection. It's inspected to the property maintenance code, International Property Maintenance Code. There may be some upgrades if you've been into a house a long time. There may be some upgrades you may have to do, but it's more of a life safety inspection. And then after those are all done and approved, then the new tenants would come in and pick up their occupancy permit.
Because one neighbor wants it, but he gave me a contract on it already, but I don't like the contract. He said if there's anything that needs to be done that's $10,000 or more, I'm going to have to pay for it, and I'm not going to sign that contract. But that's what I'm trying to avoid. When somebody comes to look at it, I can say, this is what needs to be done, before he can move in. So that's why I need a city inspector to come and say these things.
We can give you Jessica's card tonight, and you can take that home. If you could call her tomorrow, she could get you set up. You could go ahead and have your inspection done, and then you would know what needs to be completed for our end of it. Now, if somebody buys it and has a home inspector that comes in, they may find something else.
Well,
But
well, I want the basics, because
Yeah.
like I say, this one said anything over 10,000. I don't think should be anything there over 10,000, but I want to know
I haven't
that.
seen anything that we've done inspections on that come over $10,000. So,
I'd like to see
at
it.
least not since I've been here.
I say, we've been there 50 years, and it's been a good home, but I have my cane. It's getting to the point where we've got to move somewhere all on one level.
Right.
'Cause we-
But
we-
you
I-
can
my-
do that. You can have that set up. We can do the inspection if you're ready to sell your house. We can, then that way you'll have it done and that when you sell it.
I could do I have his name, or do I? who
We'll
do I-
we'll get you Jessica's card, and then you can give her a call tomorrow. She can get you set up.
Okay. That's all.
We do appreciate the comments. We also try to take the character of the neighborhood in mind within the bounds of what the zoning code permits us to do. So we do have restrictions on what we're allowed to
I don't know, could you
to
pull
talk
up a
about.
picture of it on the,
Of your property?
yeah.
Could
Hang
you?
on a minute.
Yeah.
I gotta share my screen again, and I gotta go back to Google.
I always like to call the one that's 2-story home on the double lot. I said, that's the hotel. Because it's big. And,
All right, which Park Ridge? You're this one right here on the corner. Is that it?
nope, not on the corner. Let's see, keep going, down Park Ridge, bring it down.
Twenty-three.
2201.
I gotta go a whole other block. Ah, there we are.
There we go, with that fancy roof that we just put on.
Oh, what is that? Get rid of that. No. Collier all of a sudden.
There's the house. Whoop, you just went
So
by.
those are the,
By the house.
yeah, you're over here.
If you can legally protect it, that's the best path. So if you can legally protect it with the way you sell it, that's the best path to protect it. Yeah. Yeah.
Want to replace it. Sorry, wandering around. But there are people that are calling me consistently, when are you interested in selling? And like I say, I think a gentleman across the street wants to buy it, one next to me wants to buy it, but I want to say this is what it's going to cost you perhaps to build it, or to redo it, not tear it down. So that's why I'd like an inspector come and say, these are the things necessary before somebody could move into it.
Just so you understand, it is more of a life safety inspection. You know, if we see like cracked foundations or something like that, we would call those out, but we're gonna be looking more for like GFIs and things on that order, smoke detectors,
That's fine.
make sure windows operate and stuff like that, so.
Well, just so I get some idea, that'd be fine. Just put in a new air conditioning unit about a week ago. We weren't the only ones. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Checking, nobody's left online. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.